Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jake from TodaysiPhone.com, and here's your TIP Daily for October 23rd, 2012. Okay, so obviously all of the news today is coming out of Apple's very own event. They announced a bunch of awesome new products, so let's run them down. First and foremost, we have the iPad mini. Now, this device basically lines up with all of the speculation that we've heard about the iPad mini for the past couple months. It's super small, super thin, about as thin as a pencil. It has a 7.9-inch display. It's actually not technically a Retina display. It has a 1024 by 768 resolution, which is the same resolution of the screen on the iPad 2. But that being said, though, this screen is crisper and sharper than that of the iPad 2 just because it's the same amount of pixels but shrunken into a much smaller space. It starts at $329 for the 16GB Wi-Fi only version and goes up to $659 for the 64GB Wi-Fi plus cellular version. The iPad mini goes on pre-sale this Friday, October 22nd, and goes on sale in stores and online on November 2nd. And also features a bunch of really cool things like 4G connectivity, a 5-megapixel back-facing camera that does 1080p HD video recording, a HD FaceTime front-facing camera, and of course it has the Lightning connector. Now, there was a hands-on event for the media at the announcement right afterwards, and we've compiled a bunch of the best hands-on iPad mini videos, so there's a link to that in the post down below to see what the iPad mini looks like actually in the real world. And I gotta say, it looks pretty cool. I am kind of disappointed that there is no Retina display, and I'm also a bit worried about the slate finish on the back of the black model, just because it could get scratched up just like the slate back on the iPhone 5. But other than that, this looks like a pretty cool device. Okay, moving on, Apple also announced a new 4th generation full-sized iPad. Now, this is a big surprise. Most people thought that Apple was just gonna slightly tweak the 3rd generation 9.7-inch iPad to add the Lightning connector to it, but they actually just went ahead and made a whole new iPad. It has the Lightning connector, it has an A6X processor, which is supposedly twice as fast as the A5X processor powering the new or old 3rd generation iPad. It still has the Retina display, which is nice, and does have the Lightning connector. And it's the same price points as the previous 3rd generation iPad. Now, one thing to take note of is that obviously this is a big deal just because the 3rd generation iPad hasn't even been out for a year. So this could make a lot of customers of the 3rd generation iPad pretty pissed off. So apparently, select Apple stores, depending on where you go, will allow you to exchange your 3rd generation iPad for a 4th generation iPad for free if you've purchased it within the last 30 days. Now, keep in mind that this is not a company-wide policy. It does happen on a store-by-store basis, so you might strike out if you go to your store, but as long as you can prove that the iPad was purchased within the last 30 days, and you didn't destroy it during that time, I feel like you'll be able to find a store that will take your iPad 3 back and give you an iPad 4. Apple also announced a new MacBook Pro 13-inch with a Retina display, which starts at $1699. It announced a pretty significant update to the Mac Mini, which starts at $599, and it has some crazy cool new iMacs. There's a 21.5-inch version, which starts at $1299, and a 27-inch version that starts at $1799. As far as software is concerned, there was speculation that Apple is going to announce an update to iBooks, and that did happen. iBooks 3.0 is available as a free update in the iOS App Store. It brings a couple really cool new features like scrollable books, which means you don't have to turn the page. It's just like one enormous document that you can scroll up and down through. There's also much more language support for a lot of Asian characters, and unique fonts that authors add to their own books via iBooks Author. And there's better integration with iCloud and Facebook and Twitter, so definitely check that out. Okay, so now obviously I can't explain everything Apple talked about here, but if you're still interested, the entire keynote is available online for free at Apple's website, so definitely go check that out. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I just want to give you a couple of my thoughts on the event. First of all, I think everything that Apple announced today met expectations. I don't think there's really anything that went above and beyond what the rumors were suggesting, and because of that, I don't think there's anything that really sort of like wowed or surprised people in the way that, you know, the 1st generation iPhone did. I don't know what is going on with Apple security lately, but the new products that they're announcing, we've basically known most of the stuff about them for weeks and sometimes even months before they're officially announced. But at the same time, all of what Apple announced was really, really cool. I love the new Retina display MacBooks. I will love the 2nd generation of the iPad mini when it does have a Retina display more than I love the 1st generation, but it still seems like a solid device and a decent competitor in the smaller tablet market. The price might be a little bit of a hindrance, but the build quality and just the ecosystem of the iPad mini really can't be beat by the plastic Android tablets with the fragmented software and stuff, so it is going to be a little bit more expensive than the other tablets in that 7-8 inch market. but I think that customers are going to recognize that this is a higher level of tablet than what they'd be getting elsewhere. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Your question of the day today is, I just want to hear your thoughts on the event. I want to hear what products you're excited about, what you think could be improved upon, or maybe Apple took a misstep on. Are you planning on buying any of these products? The MacBook Pro, the iPad mini, the Mac mini, anything, you can let me know in the comment section down below or on Twitter at TIP_Jake. Of course, he links to everything I talked about in this video in the description down below, so please give those a look. And as always, for more news, views, reviews, and everything Apple announced today, don't forget to head over to TodaysiPhone.com.